This wedding was an assignment for my Religion 2 class in Catholic school.
This One's Wife, the Meghan Markle Helpline. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. What is this helpline? Is it a helpline for her, as an attempt to provide her with some kind of guidance so that she can alleviate the many problems that she experiences, ranging from being a thoroughly unpleasant person that screams down the telephone at individuals, bullies employees, and doesn't know how to wear clothing properly? Well, no, it's not. Has she diversified as a consequence of, as ever, being just a Potemkin business and not getting anywhere? Has she decided to branch out with some kind of helpline in her name? Is it part of a philanthropic effort to make her seem like a genuinely caring person, as she ensures that there are banks of telephone operators ready to take your call to help you with whatever problem you might have? Or is it a helpline to enable you to be more like this one's wife, so that she can share handy tips about how to be the Duchess of Delusion? Well, no, it's not that either. So what is this helpline? Well, take a look at this.
Hello, I'm a middle-aged man with an embarrassing problem. I've formed a strong negative opinion about a woman whose life doesn't even affect me. And I like to express that rage in the public domain. Luckily, there's now a number I can call.
Hello, you've called the Meghan Markle Helpline.
If you've got a ridiculous opinion about Meghan Markle, our helpline workers are bravely standing by, ready to endure your take so others don't have to.
Who did this woman think she is that she can come along and damage the reputation of the royal family? I mean, that's Prince Andrew's job.
But why did he marry a commoner? It's against tradition. He should have married one of his own family.
I mean, she's so fake. Why can't she just be down to earth like his family that lives in the giant castle and dresses every day like they're in some sort of Jane Austen Comic-Con?
Why are they going off on their own instead of leeching off the taxpayer? You know, like the good royals.
If you got riled up by the Oprah Winfrey interview you watched of your own free will, our operators are ready to put up with you.
I mean, what a performance. I'll tell you what, she can make a decent career as an actor.
Sir, can I get you to pull up IMDb?
Oh my God, she's been gainfully employed. Then she definitely shouldn't be a royal.
That was the worst Oprah interview I've ever been in the audience for. I looked under my seat several times and there was no car under here.
Rest assured, the Meghan Markle helpline covers every possible type of complaint.
Press 1 if your complaint is about race. Press 2 if your complaint is not about race, but deep down is kind of about race.
But my complaint isn't about race.
Oh, what's it about then? Hello?
And because we know this isn't a race issue and you hold all royals to the same bizarre standards, we've also set up the Kate Middleton helpline.
Hello? Wrong number. I think you're after...
The Meghan Markle helpline, a made-up helpline for a made-up problem.
Now, it's probably the case that many of you, when you obtain your information about this one's wife, naturally obtain your information about her narcissism from your glorious narrator, the only individual who is able to actually break it down with the accuracy that you deserve, and that there are other channels that you will go to find out information about her behaviour, channels on YouTube, perhaps forums on Reddit, and users on X and other places. And it's most likely the case that you will regularly frequent or infrequently go to these places which are critical of this one's wife. I suspect many of you will not follow pro-Sussex sites. You might occasionally come across them in the battleground that is X, but largely you will operate within the spheres of individuals that are criticising her because you have formed, after consideration of the evidence, the view that you don't like her and are critical of her also. You will be aware, although you may not know the extent of it, that there are plenty of sites that actually support her. And there's one where there are over 1 million people that subscribe to that particular site, where it's about criticising the royal family and supporting this one's wife, which is where this video was posted. You'll note that with this video, that the thrust of it is to suggest that any criticism of this one's wife has no legitimacy. Whilst it's done as satire, there are several clear messages that come out of it. The first is that anybody complaining about her is a hypocrite because they ought to be complaining about the royal family because they engage in similar behaviours to this one's wife. Secondly, it also falls into the mistake of maintaining that anybody that criticises this one's wife is a racist. You will note that all of the individuals that were calling this imaginary helpline were white. You will also notice that at one point it gave options whereby if your complaint is about race, press 1. If it's not about race, but deep down it actually is about race, press 2. This demonstrates that even though this is shown as a skit, it's done to try and reinforce an image that those that are critical of this one's wife have no legitimacy for doing so, and that they're motivated by race. This is, as you know, an absolutely preposterous observation. Now, there are certain knuckle-draggers who have behaved in a racist way towards this one's wife. That cannot be denied, but they are a small minority. The majority of individuals that criticise this one's wife do so based on her behaviour. As has been said so many times before, that when you first looked upon her, you would not think that she was biracial. You might think that there was some Mediterranean influence, that she has always held herself out as being white. She has dated white men. She referred to herself as Caucasian on her CV. She doesn't bother with her black relatives other than her mother. And that she only, as we have seen through her behaviour, utilises black people for the purposes of playing the race card as a defensive measure to nullify threats to her control. Indeed, it could be said that this one's wife is the racist. But skits like this attempt to portray anybody that criticises her as a racist and maintains that view, that suggestion, even though it is inaccurate. Whilst some might find the helpline idea amusing, it isn't prefaced on something that is legitimate. The fact is that there is a whole host of behaviour that this one's wife is engaged in, and year on year the evidence mounts up. I'm not going to rehearse all of the instances of her unpleasant behaviour, her nastiness and her narcissism on show, and indeed, in many instances, it's not speculation, it's based upon actual filmed footage of her reactions and behaviour and the things that she says and does herself. There is a lot of nonsense that's written about her. From time to time, I'll point this out as part of the exercise of ensuring that one goes to the evidence, rather than propagating ridiculous theories which only play into the victim mentality of this one's wife. But casting that to one side, what is evident is that there is a huge amount of material that demonstrates what a narcissist she is. I identified this years ago, and since then, that body of evidence has just built up, because as an unaware middle range type A narcissist, she cannot help but keep behaving in the way that she does and giving us the rope that will eventually hang her, metaphorically speaking, by showing time and time again what she actually is. Naturally, as a consequence of my expertise, I identified it ahead of anybody else and pointed it out and have continued to do so, despite there being many Johnny and Janie come-latelys who have then jumped on the bandwagon to try and point it out similarly. It's good that people finally accept that that's what she is. The fact remains that material such as that which you've watched propagates an idea which is inaccurate. It tries to suggest that you, as a genuine critic of this one's wife, based upon the evidence of behaviour, are nothing more than a deranged, ranting racist, when actually all you're doing is responding, in the most part, to the evidence of this one's wife's behaviour herself. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for watching.